Hello and welcome. Today we're looking at Edexcel iGCSE Computer Science Paper 2 from June 2019. Now, this is a bit of a practical paper. You're given some codes and slightly different kind of approach, because what you're asked to do is write on this paper. So this will be given to you in your exam and you'll write on there, and you will use black ink or ballpoint pen, fill all the details in, but you'll also be handing in some completed code. For the purposes of this video, I am going to write on the PDF, but normally it would be handwritten. Now, you use one programming language, and for this video I'm using Python because it's what I use in my school and it's probably what most schools actually use. At the time of making this video, it was the world's most popular programming language. So you're given the code and you're asked to change it, and you're not allowed to use the internet during the test, so the internet will be barred to you. So you can't use the internet to go and find out answers to help you. So basically what that means is you're going to have to learn Python. You're going to have to be ready and build up your Python skills to be able to do this paper. Total marks for this paper is 80. So before we get started, you need to specify what language you're using. You've got a choice of 3 languages. You've got C#, Java, and Python. Now I put a cross in Python because that's the language that I'm going to be using for the purposes of this video. So it's enough of the introduction. Let's jump in and answer the first question. Question 1. Question 1. Computer programs use several different programming constructs. A. Identify the most appropriate data type for the value 4.5. Is it going to be A. Boolean, B. character, C. real, or D. string? The answer is it is a real. Definitely not a Boolean, it's not true or false. Definitely not character, it's not a single character. It's not a string. It needs to be a real because it contains a decimal point. B. 1B. Give a definition of a logic error. Logic error is when you get an unintended output. So it's slightly different to a syntax error where you've misspelt a variable name, you've misspelt print. So logical error is where we get an unintended output. So you see my answer there. So maybe it could be a miscalculation, for example, and you didn't quite intend that to be the output for it. Sometimes these are quite hard, unlike basic syntax errors, these are quite hard to actually detect. So a logic error is an error where we get an unintended output, and that is for 1 mark. Question C. Open Q01C in the code editor. The program should print out a counter and add the counter with 7 added to it. There are 3 errors in the code. Amend the code to correct the errors. Save the amended code as Q01C finished with the correct file extension for the programming language. So these are the data files that come with the exam question. And as I'm using Python, mine are going to open in idle. Now I've included a link in the description to these data files. So I need to open Q01C. Remember, if you've got idle installed, you simply right click and edit with idle. Then I've got my code open here. So there's 3 errors in this code for me to find. So first thing I'm going to look for when I get something like this is look for the basics, look for syntax errors. So what syntax errors have I got? Now, count equals 0, max value equals 5. Can't see anything wrong with that. Well, count is less than max value. Now, a while loop should always have a colon on there. So that's the first thing I'm missing. That's the first syntax error I've got there. So that's error number 1. Second error, you can see count. Count is with a lowercase c, but here it's got uppercase. So there is the second error. Now the third error is slightly harder to find because it isn't a syntax error. But if I look at the question, it says the program should print out a counter and the counter with 7 added to it. So when I look at my program, I'm thinking, where does that 7 come from? And we look in this print here, we can see that it's asking for constant value. Now, where is constant value? Now, that's one thing that is missing from this code, and that is the third error there. We are missing that constant value, and the constant value should be 7 because we're adding 7 to it each time. So what I need to do is declare constant value there. It hasn't been declared yet. So constant value equals 7. So here are the 3 errors that I found. 2 syntax errors, it was missing the colon there. Count had an uppercase C, and the third error was we were missing constant value. Constant value had not been declared, and it needs to be declared as 7 because we're adding 7 to it, to the counter each time. Now, I'm going to save that in my folder, and it needs to be saved. It needs to be saved as Q01C finished, like that. Really important that you save it exactly as the exam asks you to do, because that is what the examiner is going to be looking for. So I can save it there. Now I'm going to run it and just see what happens. Okay, so there, it's working. Okay, so I've got a counter 0 to 5, 0 to 4 there, 5 values, and for each one it's added 7 to it. Okay, so the program should print out a counter and the counter with 7 added to it. So the program actually works there. That's what it's doing. It's printing off the counter with 7 added to it. Question D. Give one reason why computer programmers should use comments in their programs. So remember, in Python, we use the hash symbol and then we write our comments, and we write comments so that someone looking at the code, sorry, my caps lock is on there, someone looking at the code knows what it is doing, can understand it. Because although it may be an expert looking at your code, it may not always be possible to understand what you were intending to do. So we comment the code so it is someone can understand it when they look at it. Question E. Describe the difference between a local variable and a global variable in a computer program. So, local variable, accessible, or, I'll use the correct term, has scope within the subroutine only. It is declared in the subroutine and only used there. So local variable has scope only within the subroutine it's in. It's not, you can't use it in the main code, whereas global variable is declared and has scope, that means is used, is able to be used within the whole program. So local variable is only used within the subroutine. The global variable is used throughout the whole program. Question F. Trevor is the manager of a shoe shop. Sales assistants can earn a bonus based on the number of pairs of shoes they sell and the total income for the shop each day. Open Q01F in the code editor. Now here is Q01F, and we can see that we've got a list there. We've got a variable declared assistant salary, and that looks to be like a real. It's got a decimal point in there. Then we've got a for loop. Then we look down through here and we've got an if, elif, and else there. And we can see that the if and the elif are missing some code. So that is what we're going to be filling in. So we're looking at writing a condition. Now the question says, amend the code to complete the if statement used to produce the outputs described in the table. So this is a condition there. Condition, shop income is more than 5,000 or sales assistant has sold at least 10 pairs of shoes. Output, bonus is 10% of salary. Next condition, shop income is £2,000 or more and sales assistant has sold at least 5 pairs of shoes. Bonus is 5% of salary. Do not add any further functionality and save your code when you've finished. So we're going to be writing a couple of things here, and this is 4 marks. So let's start with that first condition. Shop income is more than 5,000 or sales assistant has sold at least 10 pairs of shoes. So I need an or in there. So shop income, I can see the variable name there. So what I'm going to do, so I don't misspell it, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to pop that in there. Okay. And I'm going to say greater than, so it's more than, it's not greater than or equal to 5,000, it's greater than 5,000. So shop income is more than 5,000. Now the exam gives me a hint there. I need an or, so I need to put an or in there. Okay, an or into my condition. Or sales assistant has sold at least 10 pairs of shoes. So sales assistant sales there. So again, I've copied that variable to make sure I don't misspell it and get a syntax error. Has sold at least 10 pairs of shoes. So when we say at least 10 pairs of shoes, we're thinking it can be 10 pairs or more. So I'm going to put greater than or equal to 10. Now, I need to put brackets around that. I need a bracket around that. And I need a bracket around that because I've got that or in there now. And I'm just going to tidy that up, just put that back like that. So if shop income is greater than 5,000, there, or assistant sales is greater than or equal to 10, and the colon's there, so that works. Okay. And the next one is down here, the elif. So remember in the condition we can have different options there. We've got if, elif, and then the else. So the elif says shop income. So I'm going to make life simple for myself. I'm going to copy that, paste that in there to make sure I don't misspell it, but that's got to be is 2,000 or more. So that's going to be greater than or equal to 2,000. And sales assistant has sold at least 5 pairs of shoes. So I need an and this time. So assistant sales, I'm going to copy this. Okay. Now if you can copy this, I'm assuming that you use something like idle, then it makes sure it saves you time and it makes sure you don't misspell the variables, the variable names. So at least 5 pairs of shoes, so that's greater than or equal to 5. Now remember, because I put that condition in there, I need to put brackets around that because I put that logic in there, that and I need brackets around shop income greater than or equal to 2,000 and assistant sales greater than or equal to 5. Now I'm going to run that, but I'm just looking at this print here. I'm just going to bring that back and just tidy that up because I may get a problem with that indentation there. So it needs to be saved as Q01F finished. So I'm going to save it So Q01F, put the caps lock on, and it's saved as finished. Save. And now I can run it. Okay. And I don't get any errors, and I just double check. Is that what I've been asked to do? There. Amend the code to complete the if statement used to produce the outputs described in the table. So if shop income is more than 5,000, or sales assistant has sold at least 10 pairs of shoes, print assistant bonus, assistant salary times 0.1, that's 10%. Shop income is more than 2,000 or more, and sales assistant has sold at least 5 pairs of shoes, bonus is 5%, so that should be assistant salary times 0.05, and it prints out assistant bonus equals 0 if they've not managed to do that. So it's going to print the shop income and the assistant sales there. So that looks like that's finished, and that works. Question says, do not add any further functionality. Save your amended code as Q01F finished. Question G. Car registration codes consist of 7 characters. The characters are 2 uppercase letters, followed by 2 numbers, and then 3 uppercase letters. So we've got some examples there. YH62, KLV, EY09, VPB, etc. So they're the car registration plates. That's what they need to look like. All codes need to be validated. Complete the table to show 2 additional validation tests. For each test, give one example of erroneous data. The example you give should fail that test. So you've got a first test there. Is it 7 characters? And you've got erroneous data containing 6 characters there. If we look at these registration plates, we can notice some commonalities there. The first two characters are letters. So that might be something that we test. So an example of a test are the first 2 characters uppercase letters? And erroneous data might be if it was 1, 2, 3, ABC, because in that case that's going to fail the test because the first 2 characters are not letters. What else can we pick out from this? Well, we can see that the 3rd and 4th character need to be numbers, so that could be another question there, another test. Are the 3rd and 4th characters numbers? Okay, and what would fail the test if they were 2 letters? Like that, because the 3rd and 4th characters are not numbers. So that would give me 4 marks for that section, and the total for question 1 is 16 marks. I've linked below the files you need for this, including the Python files. If you're doing it in another language, then you can maybe contact me and ask for files for Java and C#, but I'm just assuming that most schools will probably use Python. Good luck with that, and let me know how you get on, and thank you for watching.